Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Latifah. I am grade 5C PGSD, absent number 28. I will review the literature. This literature is entered the use of discovery learning models on the creativity of elementary school student. Introduction. The real condition in the implementation of the exercise provide are not valuable to improve student ability to apply concept. The low quality of learning can be interpreted as less effective in the learning process. The cause can come from student, teacher, and existing facilities and infrastructure, low student interest and motivation, low teacher performance, and inadequate facility and infrastructure which cause learning to be less effective. Teacher at the time of teaching in 50 grade already use learning models with lecture, discussion, assignment, and demonstration, but in fact there are still some students who are lacking in the level of understanding the material. This causes material development to be delayed. The level of student response is less, so they are more likely to consider the learning material to be a boring thing. If this continues to happen, it will cause student learning outcomes to be low. The learning model that has the potential to be applied in elementary school nature science learning in the discovery learning models. Kemendikbud suggests the discovery learning is a lesson material that is not delivered in a final form. However, students are encouraged to identify what they want to know, and they approach it with finding their own information, organizing or forming what they know or understand in a final form. The discovery learning models, according to Hasnan, is a model for developing an activity way of learning by discovering yourself, investigating yourself. Then the result obtained will be loyal and long-lasting in memory. Meanwhile, according to Wardani Nanik Sulistia, assert the discovery learning is a student-centered learning approach. The teacher provides opportunity and freedom for students to find, explore, and construct their own knowledge so that students can better understand and usually understand the learning material. By learning to discover by themselves, students will be able to better understand and remember concept and knowledge learned by themselves so that student learning outcomes can increase. Based on several opinion from the expert above, it can be concluded that the discovery learning model is a learning process obtained through observation or experimentation and creates a new learning atmosphere that can make students learn activity to find their own knowledge so that student learning outcomes what interest. Method. The type of research used in this research is classroom action research with the aim of improving the learning process continuously. In this study, using the steps of learning, implementation of action, observation, and reflection, this research was conducted in the second semester of the 2017 to 2018 academic year at the MEMENUHI 7th State Elementary School, Salatiga. The subject of this classroom action research were 22 50 grade students consisting of 13 female students and 9 male students. 1. Discussion. To find out the creativity and learning outcomes of students. A discussion was held with the 50 grade homeroom teacher at Mangun Sari 7 State Elementary School Salatiga. With this research, now information about students will have a high creativity as well as student learning outcomes will have not reached the KKM, and also the teacher upstages when using this model. 2. Observation here is done to observe the implementation of the action. Observation here is in the form of systematic recording of all teacher and student activity during the teaching and learning process. 3. Rubric research used the technique to measure the creativity of 50 grades. The purpose of the rubric itself is that students are able to understand the basis of the assessment will be used by the teacher. 4. Test. The test is used to measure the assessment of learning outcomes. 5. Documentation is used to strengthen the data obtained during observation. The documentation itself contains the result of student work, a list of student grades, and photo of the implementation of learning and student activity when learning takes place using the discovery learning model. Next, result and discussion from the student learning outcomes before and after using the discovery learning model. It can be sent from table to comparison of learning outcomes ranging from Indonesian language, natural and science, and S.Pd subject. Indonesian language learning in the pre-curricular of initial condition of student 10, 46% complete in learning, then in curricular on to 14, 62%. It means that it has entered but has not been cited to be successful, so it is necessary to this curricular to engage 18 students. 82% complete in learning, saying that 18 students complete from the number of students in the 22nd grade, and the percentage reached the 82%. It is said that the second curriculum of learning Indonesian was successful. In learning natural science, students complete 41%, pre-cycles 50%, cycles on an 82% curriculum will complete the minimum competence criteria 66. Curriculum 2 is cited to be successful because it reaches a percentage of 82%. Meanwhile, in the pre-cycle S.Pd learning, 12 students 55%, complete 12 55%, curriculum 1 student complete 16 73%, and curriculum 2 student complete 19 86%. So it is said to be successful because the percentage in curriculum 2 is 86%. The interest in learning outcome is because in the learning process students are required to activities that open their own problem proposed by the teacher, and students can collect concepts and prove them. Through this, students can understand the material and are always remember because students participate directly, so that it can improve learning outcomes in accordance with what was stated by Christine, which states that the discovery learning model can improve learning outcomes. Meanwhile, according to Hasugian, learning outcomes are the ability of skill, attitudes, and skill obtained by students after they receive the treatment given by the teacher, so that they can control the knowledge in everyday life, means that it can be concluded that the discovery learning model can insert creativity. In line with the Ministry of Education and Culture, the Directorate General of Primary and Secondary Education, the Directorate of Elementary School Development, in it is proven that the advance of discovery learning can help students to improve skill and cognitive process, create a sense of pleasure, cause students to learn by improving imagination, strengthening concept, and eliminating the nature of doubt. Next, conclusion and limitation. Based on the discussion that has been explained above, expressing using the discovery learning model can improve creativity and learning outcomes for 50 grade students of MEMENUHI 7 on the theme the environment of our brains sometimes due to environmental change, and 3 environmental conversation effort at the second meeting and the 50 meeting with the subject of Indonesian language, natural science S.Pd. This can be seen by the interest in each curricle. The pre-curricle of 20 to 50 grade students will have moderate creativity, 27.3%, have low creativity, 72.7% student in curricle 1, 5 student 22.7%, where is the high creativity category, 10 student 45.5%, where is the medium creativity category, and 7 student 31.8%, where in the category very low creativity critical to inscribe. Again, for student 18%, where in the category of very high creativity, 9 student 41%, where in the category of high creativity, and 41% student were in the category of low creativity. Meanwhile, the student learning outcomes, the pre-curricular stack of Indonesian were 10 student complete, 46% in curricle 2 in grade 2, 14 student complete, 64%, and curricle to insert again to 18 student complete, 82% natural shine preschool then student complete, 41%, school 1 insert by 13 student complete, 59%, school 2 insert by 18 student complete, 82%, S.Pd preschool 12 student complete, school 1 insert by 16 student complete, 73%, and cry 2 insert again 19 student complete, 86%. With the result of creativity and learning outcomes above using the discovery learning models, 50 grade students of the MEMENUHI 7 State Elementary School have received an indicator of success, namely student mastery is above 8%. So it is said that in the second curricle, creativity and student learning outcomes increased by using the discovery learning models. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.